Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia. Here is to another random video. In case you ever wonder where I get these ideas that aren't unboxings, randomly. They randomly pop into my head and then I film them. So I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago, I got this into my head of making a list of things everyone else likes, but not me, and make a video out of it. And so the list grew. I asked my husband his thoughts on things that I don't like that everybody else does. And I think this started with Jane Eyre, if I don't even know. It just seemed like all of a sudden I was seeing, I don't know, people posting about reading it. Maybe it's something people read at Christmas time. I'm not sure whether you'll see this in December or January, but I am filming in December. So I don't know whether it's kind of like a winter read, but I saw people on YouTube, people on Facebook, whatever. I love romance. That's my favorite genre of anything, books, movies, etc. I don't get Jane Eyre. I just think it's agonizingly terrible. The whole thing. I don't think I've ever read it, to be fair, but I've seen a couple of the movies and just, I don't get it. It's not my favorite type of love story. So I feel like lots of people like that and I don't. All right, number 2, coffee. I feel like every adult on the planet drinks coffee every day, all day. My husband roasts it. It is his hobby. He makes really good coffee, or so I'm told. I just don't do coffee. I've never, ever done a daily coffee. I will occasionally get a foo-foo drink at Starbucks. I really love the salted caramel mocha, but they haven't had that since like COVID. I don't know whether the factory burned down somewhere that made the salted caramel. I have no idea. I do like a peppermint mocha every now and then, but I spent most of my life not even wanting those, hating the taste of coffee. So I can do it if it's masked. But I just don't do a daily caffeine. I feel like caffeine could go in there. I feel like we could have a caffeine. My body reacts so weird to caffeine. So I like iced tea. I like Diet Cokes. Diet Cokes, for whatever reason, I can't do regularly anymore. And even caffeine, I basically can have caffeine like about 3 times a week, or I get headaches with or without caffeine. My body, I just think, does not like caffeine. I don't know. Anywho. All right, number 3, alcohol. So yes, I know you guys are like, you don't do caffeine, you don't do alcohol. For whatever reason, I never liked the taste of alcohol. I was never one of those kids who couldn't wait to turn 21 or go to a party that had alcohol. I think my first, I probably tried a sip of wine when I was younger at my grandparents'. Didn't like the taste then. I think my first drink in college was a beer. I hate beer. I don't not drink, but I basically don't drink either. So maybe 4 times a year I have a drink because I feel like I should, or order one if we're at a nice dinner. Most of the time, my husband ends up drinking the drink. I do like Kahlua, but it's so basically heavy in calorie. It's not worth it. I would rather eat my calories. I do like a cider, like an alcoholic cider, and I generally can drink those and enjoy it. But I do not seek alcohol out. I do not like beer and wine, and it's just not, I would rather take those 200 calories and eat a cupcake. So alcohol, I'm not opposed to it. I just don't like the flavor, and for me, it's not worth the calorie. So maybe, like I said, 4 times a year, I'll have a drink, and half the time my husband finishes. Number 4, Game of Thrones. I feel like everybody likes that, watched that, and now there's some spinoff that I haven't seen either. I did try. My husband would have liked to have watched Game of Thrones as kind of a couple show that we watched together. I don't think I got through the first episode. Maybe 2 episodes. To me, it was too much of pretty much everything. I love history, period pieces, but this was odd. I just couldn't do it. I think more because of the gratuitous sex, and I don't mind the scenes like that if they're meaningful, but I just think in Game of Thrones it wasn't meaningful and it was crazy. So I couldn't get past that, and so Game of Thrones, I've never watched past that first episode. 5 would be the news. I feel like adults in general watch the news. I grew up in a house where my dad had the news on every evening, and then later on in his life, all the time. He just had the news on. I was much more informed when I lived with my parents. We do not have the news on at all, ever. At this point, we don't even have TV channels. I think somehow we could get like the regular, your regular local news. But we basically have Amazon, Disney, and Netflix. So if I were to seek out the news, it would have to be some sort of like online source. And I suppose there's good and bad for not having the news. But I basically, unless somebody's telling me about the news, I would be clueless. Now, makeup is something that has kind of changed a little bit. But basically, I feel like females in general love makeup, wear makeup, want to wear makeup from a young age, and I just never did. My mom was a person who took a long time to get ready, had to do her hair, full face of makeup before she went out the door. I don't know whether I revolted against that, but I basically didn't wear makeup at all until college, and then it was just an itty bitty bit, kind of like alcohol, where I felt like I should. And so like I think they had a Mary Kay party in my dorm. I bought a couple of things, but I basically never regularly wore makeup till maybe 30, probably 40 if we're going to be honest. I did have in my probably 30s, I had a foundation, I had a mascara, but I only put it on for the very specialist of occasions, like a Christmas party at my husband's work, family pictures. And it wasn't until the last few years where I've gotten into it more. I now wear pretty much in the last 2 years maybe. I wear maybe the last year and a half. I wear mascara pretty much every day to work. I wear foundation a little bit more, but I still don't wear it every day. Whenever I start wearing makeup every day, I break out. So I don't think my skin likes it. And I have, good foundations that I like. So I do wear mascara every day, but I am still not, one of those people that just love makeup and putting it on. And I feel like that's definitely not the norm. At 7, here we go, sports. Now, I grew up playing soccer. So I played soccer 2nd grade through high school. I love soccer. My parents watched sports all the time. I mean, they would have a TV in one room, a TV in the other, would be yelling at the TV. I don't think they could watch it together because, I don't know, they got irritated with each other. But we were in Indiana, so my parents were Pacer fans, Colts fans. We had sports on. Baseball, not so much, but we had football and basketball on all year round. So as an adult, we do not watch sports. My husband's not into sports, which I don't miss. I had a boyfriend in college who, our schedule went around different sporting games, like, game night. You couldn't mess with that kind of a thing. So I don't mind. I mean, yeah, the other day at Thanksgiving, there was the football game on, and it was kind of reminiscent of home because that would have been at my parents' house, would have had the game on. So I don't mind watching it per se, but I am 100% fine not watching it. So as an adult, even the Super Bowl, we would be out hiking or doing something if we happened to be home. Back when it was on regular TV, I feel like it's not on regular TV anymore. We would turn it on and kind of sit there, but it was like not a thing, which I feel like is so very un-American. But neither my husband and I are into sports, and we could take them or leave them. Number 8, lounge sets. This whole trend of like comfy pajamas that you spend all day in, or lounge sets where you can go out. I am just not a lounge set person, so that trend missed me. I'll wear my pajamas in the morning for a little bit, but then I just get dressed, whatever I'm going to wear for the day. And that's generally, like right now, I'm in this with shorts, but that's California for you. In a little bit, we're going to go hiking, so I'm going to put on my hiking wear. Lounge sets just aren't me, and I feel like that's, again, unusual. I feel like in the last couple of years, everybody loves lounge sets. Let's see. Number 8, roller coasters. I feel like everybody seems to love roller coasters. I am not. Now, if it's just a plain Jane, kind of like easygoing, I can do it. Disneyland, the railroad, I love that roller coaster. That might be the only roller coaster I love. Anything that goes upside down or like super one way or the other, I am not into any extreme rides at all. So even at this point in my life, I could probably never ride a ride again and I'd be okay. I get claustrophobic and then I get this fear of getting stuck on the ride. That happened in Disney World when we took Cora, the Little Mermaid, which is not a roller coaster at all, but like we were stuck in that ride for 40 minutes. And so I feel like ever since then, it has triggered we could get stuck on this ride. And so anyway, but roller coasters, I've never really been a fan of. My friends, my cousins all love like extreme rides. And I'm the sissy who is not going to get on any extreme ride. So in reality, we can talk about any extreme ride, not just roller coasters. But I've always kind of been a sissy at like fairs or amusement parks. And then the last one is scary movies. Of course, I have watched some in my life, but it is not necessarily something I seek out. Generally, when I watch them, it was because friends in high school or college or my husband wanted to go see them. So I've seen them. I will probably see another one or two, before I die. But I don't seek out scary movies. I don't necessarily find them enjoyable. Again, I like romance or action, drama, scary movies, especially the really I don't know, at Halloween, I feel like they just crank them out and they're not really good quality. But anyway, scary movies are not for me. Anyway, if you've made it this far, I would love it if you would tell me something that you don't like that everybody else does. I just thought this seemed fun, a way to share about myself and kind of talk to you guys. So I would love it if you would share anything that you kind of fit the bill, maybe that other people love that you don't. So anyway, I hope you have a great day and I will talk to you guys soon.